I'm headed to the top, I'ma do it. I'm headed to the top, I'ma prove it. I could go all night, I'm sick of being nothing. All right, I'm gonna be something. Fight with
look at that fatty.
Trust me, I'ma be the one at the top, you can't touch me. I bleed with every word coming. I would rather die than be someone who's nothing. I'm the type of dude who will not remain nameless. I'm the type of dude who is headed for great.
Hey guys, I'm Brian with BS Bass, and today I want to go through something that we've had a lot of success with, and that's drop shotting. I'm going to give you the rigs that we run, on these, and why we're using them. Give you guys a little bit more information on what you really want to optimally drop shot for smallmouth, largemouth, any fish that you're trying to catch. So first of all, the one that you guys have probably seen me in the last few videos using. This is an older rod. I really like this rod and reel, and I took good care of it growing up. So it's still 100% functional. Never broke the tip on it or anything. But this is a Bass Pro Shops Bionic blade. It's an older one. This is, based on my age, I'd say this is 16 or 17 years old, man. It's getting up there. So it's a Bionic blade medium. It's got a very fast action tip on it. I like it. You could really feel everything that you're doing. On top of that, it's got a Shimano SPINSHot reel on it. A little quick fire thing so you don't have to flip the bail when you cast. That's what I'm using on this. I'm using 15-pound braid, and then I'm attaching a Seaguar 8 to 12-pound fluorocarbon leader. And one thing you want to do with that fluorocarbon leader when you run it, you want to make that leader long enough to almost go into your bail. So my fluoro leader is right here. And then the other thing I want to tell you about that leader is I always run a double uni knot when I run braid to fluorocarbon or braid to mono. Anytime I use braid to a clear line or mono fluorocarbon, I always run a double uni knot. I haven't had that fail on me, so I continue to do that all the time. Second, once you get down to the actual hook here, I hope you can see that. I'll bring that a little closer. So hopefully you guys can see that, but this hook here is a VMC SPINSHOT hook. It's a 1/0, and this gives you an eye on the top and the bottom to allow you to tie your leader line as well as your weight line to it. So on this one, I'd say have about 18 inches of line going down to the bottom. The nice thing about this little SPINSHOT hook here, if hopefully you guys can see that, is if you run a lighter line down to your weight, the nice thing with that is if your weight breaks off, or if that line breaks, you still have your hook. And if you guys have figured out what's the expensive part of drop shotting, it's actually your hook. These hooks are not cheap, especially the SPINSHOT ones. I want to say they're about $5 for either 5 or 6 of them. I like that you do have that option where you can use this and you can tie 2 different lines to it. And then on the end of that, I have a weight here. Hopefully you can see that. It is a straight style drop shot weight. I did tie this one on because I have that second eyelet on the hook. So I like to run these a little bit more for the fact that you get the ability to drop straight down. I don't find these wander on the way down. I like them, especially if you're just vertical drop shotting. What you can do with that is you can put a 1/2 ouncer on there, and it's just going to sink straight to the bottom. Say you're seeing something on your graph, you're on spot lock or something, you're right there. You can drop it straight down to them. The other reason I really like the straight ones is I feel they go through the weeds just a little bit more. So I drop shot right on the outside of weed lines a lot, fishing vegetation, and I find that I almost never come up with weeds on it. On that note there, we'll go back to that hook. If you looked at the way I had that hooked, I almost hooked it kind of like a Texas rig. So when I'm fishing right outside of those weed lines, I'll run this up and put my hook in it like this. The only thing I'm going to lose is a little bit of action right on the front of it. So you see that worm kind of hangs down like that. And when I'm holding it straight, oh sorry, wrong way there, straight up and down, that worm does sit like that. But when it's in the water, it's more buoyant. So that end, when I'm twitching it, just this end shouldn't sink all the way down to the bottom. So that's one way. If you're getting in the weeds and you don't want to switch, or say you don't have a weedless hook on you, you could always do that. Just try to rig your plastic weedless. I don't think it affects the action to the point where you're not going to catch as much fish. I'd say it does affect the action for sure, but it's not completely drastic where you're not going to catch anything on that rig. Now the other rod that I have for drop shotting, which it has no line on it now because I set it up with 10-pound braid and I was doing some Ned rigging with it, and this was for trying to bed fish in the spring, and I put 10-pound braid on it and I did not like it for the drop shot. I think it wasn't strong enough braid to really use on the drop shot. So this is a 7-foot Duckett TEREX. It's a medium action, fast tip. I really like the TEREX line. I actually got it for my frog rod, and I really liked it. So I said, you know what, I'm going to take the chance. I had it in my hand. I felt how fast that tip was on it, and I said, man, that's really going to be nice for drop shotting. So I picked it up for that. It's got a nice keeper in the back. I put my weight through this keeper opposed to putting my hook through it because that weight hangs down. On this one, I have a Quantum Smoke Speed Freak. It's a 25 series reel, and this one has like 34 inches of line per handle turn, line recovery. I really like that, and this one with 15-pound braid is really, it's going to be my main drop shot rod. It just, I had the other one set up for it. It seems to work pretty well, so I figured why waste some money in putting braid on another reel for the same thing this year. With the longer casting, I definitely say go with a 7.5 foot rod if you're going to try to be drop shotting and casting. With vertical, you could probably get away with a little bit shorter rod, a 6.6 maybe. But you definitely want a medium to medium heavy rod with a super fast tip. I like that fast tip because I don't move that weight. I just shake the tip of that rod, just shake it and shake it and shake it, and a fish picks it up. Maybe drag it 12, 18 inches and keep shaking it, you know. And I really find that fast tip, it allows me to feel pulling through those weeds just a little bit, and then setting it down, you could actually feel that weight just top onto the bottom. So if you guys are wondering, you know, am I on the bottom? Is my plastic sitting vertical or is it hanging down? With that fast tip, you can just put that little bit of tension on the line and know that that hook is not sinking down, and then just twitch it, and that worm should just flutter there, or that like a fluke will just flutter there. Hopefully you get some fish on it. The other thing is reel into your hook set. Don't just yank your hook. Reel into it to feel it. Reel into it fast, because you know, with that fast gear ratio, you'll feel them and then put into them. You don't have to set the hook like a madman with the drop shot rig. But I hope this helps you guys. You know, over the basics, I would run 15 to 20 pound braid. I would run a leader almost until it gets to the bail, and then a double uni knot on that leader. And then for your hook to your weight, you could play with that length depending on how close to the bottom the fish are actually staying. I typically run between 10 and 18 inches. If I'm casting way out there, you may see me with a 20-inch leader between my weight and my hook, just for the fact that when it's out there, that angle, that worm is only going to be, you know, 2/3 of the distance off of the bottom because I casted that out there. So just a few things to think about when you're going to do some drop shotting. I hope that these rods and reels kind of give you an idea of what to be running. And hey guys, thanks for watching BS Bassin'. And if you want to stay up to date with everything we got, hit that thumbs up down there, hit the bell to get your notifications. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe.
Never had a doubt of the life that I'm making. Never had a doubt of the fight I'll be facing.